Hello, everybody. Joe Bag Donuts here, and welcome back for another episode of Full Metal Demon Muramasa. Last time we left off, I finished up with a Muramasa flashback. Actually getting some definitive backstory, and we learned that the entire Muramasa family is fucking stupid and it does not understand people, and everything is their fault. I suppose it's also, fucking Flamel's fault for, being together with Muramasa the Elder for years and not being able to realize that he just, doesn't really get it. And that maybe you shouldn't have entrusted him with, the fucking Philosopher's Stone to fucking do shit with. Bad move, man. Bad move. But yeah. A little late getting around recording this. Nothing I could really do about that. It was the day I was supposed to record, the day prior to going up, I had to do one of my university assignments, which was 9 hours of work. So that day was a write-off. And then the next day, I don't know what it was. I just felt sick. Not violently ill, but it just nauseous the entire day, nauseous and lightheaded. Fortunately, it never went beyond that, but I was just in no mood to do anything. I went into work, I fucking sat down in my chair in my office, and I'm like, if you need me, come get me. If not, fucking don't talk to me. I'm just gonna be in here with the lights off. Not even asleep, just so my head didn't hurt. I don't know what that was, if I had a bug or something and it just worked its way out of my system in a day or what. I don't know, it was strange. And then yesterday, I had to go into work early to give blood. They stole my blood, so many vials. So many. And yeah, that's always fun. And then today, I wanted to start recording this 2 hours ago, but I was hungry and I haven't gone grocery shopping yet, so I ordered some food. And then, my food was delayed, so it took an extra hour to get here. And I just finished eating it. It was very good. I had some steak fajitas. And I forget what it was called, but it's like a condensed milk, sponge cake thing. Where it's the entire thing is soaked through with fucking milk and heavy cream. Really good. It had leaked out of the container, though, into the bottom of the bag. So when I took my, fajitas out, the underside of that container was just, covered in condensed milk. And I'm like, ew. And now my hands are all sticky. I washed them and everything, but I can still feel it. I don't know if I'm, being a hypochondriac and it's not actually there and I'm just crazy. Some symptoms of some early onset schizophrenia or whatever. But I'm just gonna choose to believe I didn't do a very good job because I didn't use any soap. Because, it's fucking condensed milk. It's not like I was touching a biohazard. I just wanted to get it off, but I don't think I did. Anyway, enough rambling. I got my coffee. We're in jail. The perfect place for us where we should be till the end of time, away from society. And, yeah. Let's, see where we go from here. Strange as it may seem, I find my jail cell a good deal more comfortable than the commissioner's residence. Criminals are meant to be locked away. It simply isn't appropriate for a murderer like myself to mingle with law-abiding citizens. Fortunately, the Otori pair have returned to Yokohama on GHQ business, so I've taken this opportunity to move back into my cell. I've already told Ichijo that I'll be out of town for a while. I'll have to go out into the world again once some trace of Kinsego is found, but for now, I can relax, secure in the knowledge that I'm where I belong. Of course, I have more important things to do than catch up on my sleep. How to defeat her. Kinsego is a demon, a plague upon the world, an invincible avatar of madness whose song drives men to meaningless slaughter. She must be stopped, and by my hand. Though I still do not know what happened to Hikaru 2 years ago. I no longer believe that I can restore her to sanity. Our encounter in Enoshima disabused me of that notion once and for all. And Even if there were some way to save her, I haven't the luxury of trial and error. Wherever Hikaru goes, men die like birds in a storm. So I must defeat her. Problem is how? How do I bridge the gap in power? We learned before, you just gotta do a cool rocket punch, and that solves everything. In common understanding, Musha's strength is dependent on 3 factors: the pilot's skill, the surugi's abilities, and the level of cohesion between the two. Factor 1, our skill. The difference in skill between myself and Hikaru is not something that can be overcome easily. It is a matter of genius, of raw, unparalleled talent. I do not intend to stop trying to close the distance, but I know better than to hope that a few days of focused training will cut it. Yeah, no quick little training arc in the mountains where you fight bears and you come down and you're able to win. Also, oh fuck, my hand just cramped. Ah! The muscles on the back of my hand. I was holding my coffee cup for too long without, like, putting it down or taking a sip. And I hold my cup weird. I just kind of, like, put, like, my middle and index finger through the loop and balance it, like, on top of my, like, ring finger. It's very strange, but I guess the way that was, it was putting tension on the tendons in my hand, and they just started screaming. Yow. I need more salt. Maybe that's the thing. Factor 2, our weapons. By my estimation, there's no significant disparity in strength between my surugi and Hikaru's. Muramasa II's graviton control is a force to be reckoned with, but Muramasa III's magneton control promises no less power. Factor 3. The level of cohesion between Master and Surugi. Yes, I suppose that is the problem. Certain old Nishi's words have been much in my thoughts of late. Perhaps that was my subconscious mind's way of drawing attention to the matter.
しかし、それだけ走行を重ねているにしては、ミド、誰はあまり剣のことを信頼しておらぬようだな。昨日から慣れとあの赤い剣を見ておると、どうも。
It's kind of a terse relationship. Tense working environment. Union of convenience.
しかし、心を持つ道具であることを忘れてはならんのではないか。予言太郎。
At the time, I was too foolish to heed the warning. I rebuffed Yagenta, insisting that soul or no soul, the tool cannot take responsibility for its use. My feelings on this matter have not changed. The duty of mastering a surugi, and the blame for whatever evil is committed with it, belong to the man who wields it alone, cannot be shared, nor should it. However, yeah, it gets a little more complicated when, you know, we're not getting like metaphysical, like, oh, does my fucking microwave have a soul? It's like, no, does this former like human being who fucking went through this process to become a sentient machine, do they have a soul? It's a little more straightforward there of just being like, yeah, compared to like my fucking lawnmower. Does it have a soul? And it's like, come on, man. The law of balance. I knew nothing of the meaning behind that dreadful edict. Part of it, of course, is that Muramasa never told me, but it is also true that I have made no attempt to learn of her past. Perhaps by keeping her at a distance, by doing nothing to dispel the image of cursed Muramasa that all the history books convey, I was trying subconsciously to absolve myself of guilt, to believe that my crimes, and Hikaru's crimes, were all the fault of this demonic armor. But Aoi's Shinogi showed me the truth. The law of balance was intended not to cause misery and sorrow, but to lead people to peace and understanding. Alas, old Muramasa's wishes backfired, and resulted in the indescribable horror that closed out the Nanbokucho War, a horror that has now returned to Yamato in the form of Ginseigo. Hold on, I gotta sniff my nose, do a little sniffle. Ew. That must be why.
Muramasa.
That must be why Muramasa refuses to allow me, her master, to bear the responsibility that is my due. She feels that she is responsible for defeating Ginseigo, for putting an end to the sins of her clan. We have each refused to recognize the other's will, in sense, fighting with nothing but her own individual strength. No wonder we cannot defeat Ginseigo. It is not important whose sense of responsibility or guilt is more misplaced. What matters is that a surugi, and master so alienated, cannot possibly function as a Musha should. Ooh, I was running out of breath on that one. A Musha, a true Musha, is born out of mutual respect. The Tatawaki no Gi, or rite of joining, an ancient ceremony in which surugi and warrior assess each other's character and abilities and judge whether they are worthy. When I first donned Muramasa 2 years ago, the urgency of the situation allowed for only the most rushed of joinings, and since then, we have not performed a proper one. I saw no need, and Muramasa never so as much broached the topic. That is to say, Muramasa and I are critically flawed as a Musha. I was aware of the problem before now, but I have always thought it trivial, something that could be solved with effort and skill. Perhaps it is time to rethink that posture, if, that is, I desire any hope of defeating Ginseigo. Muramasa and I must be joined, not as master and surugi, but as a single, indivisible whole, a Musha. And that will never be accomplished so long as I continue to reject Muramasa's will.
戻ったか?
I look up. The crimson spider hangs from the ceiling. Thanks to her innate skill at concealment, Muramasa's appearances are always sudden. So there's like not a lot of room in here? Is there like the ceiling tiles loose and you're just able to, come in through there? Because I'd assume the door is locked and, he'd hear and see you open the door. But then again, our situation at the jail is kind of weird. I don't know if they actually keep him locked up or if he just, closes the door himself and then that's all he needs. I remember, in the beginning, they let him out, after the whole killing Yuhi stuff. But I don't remember off the top of my head if, they actually had to come and unlock the door. Or like maybe he comes in, he has the key, he locks it, and then he throws the key, through the bars and is like, just let me out when you need me.
どうだった?
That seemed very in character for him.
なんだか微妙ね。かすかにあるような、錯覚のような。
Okay.
もしかしたら、今、どこかから近づきつつあるのかもしれない。
Just a vibe?
もう一度見回ってみる。
そうか。
何?
いいよ。
Here and there, Muramasa's blood-red armor is smudged with dirt and mud, likely picked up while she was scuttling through the city. As a life form of sorts, Tsurugi are fully capable of self-maintenance. It's not as though there's any particular need to clean a dirty Tsurugi. However, yeah, take care of your stuff, take pride in your armor. A true warrior would not neglect his weapons, would he? No. He would always maintain them in the best possible condition. Battlefield is wherever you are, a Musha saying goes. You never know when or where an enemy may strike, and it will be too late to shake the rust from your sword once they do. I hadn't given it much thought before now, but yes, I see the point.
Muramasa.
Yeah, we're gonna do some bonding, like some monkeys. I'm gonna groom you. Pick the ticks off your back.
ちょっと。
There happens to be a cloth close at hand. I pick it up and pull Muramasa to me, then begin wiping the sides of her thorax, where most of the dirt seems to have collected. Yeah, it's kind of a little intimate, huh? So we got any like armor all? You know, we gonna wax you? Get the buffer out?
なんだ
なんだじゃないでしょ。どこ触ってるの。
Your thorax?
お前の肌
隙間の変態。
You just wrap him up? Does she think me the sort of man who is aroused by giant spiders? That would indeed make me a heinous pervert.
離してよ。
Well, maybe a full spider like this, yeah, but you know, if it's like you know, the fuck, what are they called? Driders, they're like the centaur spiders, you know, with a woman upper half, and maybe, you know, I can see it.
落ち着け
そんなことされたらお嫁行けなくなる。ダメ、そこダメ。お腹触らないで。カカ様。
Is this really the character you are, Muramasa?
落ち着けというに異常な性癖に目覚めそうだ0485何を騒いでいる開けるぞ
Hey,
なんだその珍妙なポーズは
yeah, working on my posture.
単なるイメージプレイです監視殿どんな人間大の雲と楽しむ性的交渉
Oh, okay.
そうか邪魔をした
Like, you do you, man.
何か
Like, maybe we should get you out to the yard, you know, get you some fresh air time, go shoot some hoops, you know, maybe like reground yourself.
あのなどうしても辛い時には相談しろよ
Yeah.
大した力にはなれないと思うが話くらいは聞いてやれるしご厚情痛み入りますうん
やっぱりいやらしいことする気だったのね。
お前まで真に受けるな
Yeah, that's just a cover.
他の弁明がとっさに思いつかなかっただけだ
本当かしら。じゃあどういうつもりだったのよ。
Just cleaning you.
お前があちらこちら汚れているから
Yeah.
拭いてやろうと思った
そう。
Question is, why did you react that way? Muramasa seems to have calmed down. So I reseat her and resume cleaning. Thanks to her struggling, the dirt is more spread out than before.
けどそんなことこれまで一度だってしなかったじゃないの。
無用のことだと思っていたからな
ええ。放っておいても勝手に落ちるもの。
だが考えを変えた
Yeah, no, like I said, we're like little monkeys right now.
変えようと思っている
どういうこと？
武
Little
者
team
としての
building.
姿勢を変えるべきなのではないかとそう考えている銀星号を破るために今のままでは俺たちは勝てないこれは現実だ
かもしれない。
信仰一致という
I speak an ancient phrase, one which describes the supreme state that all Musha strive to reach. The exact detail of how to achieve it vary with whom you ask, but the ultimate goal is to reduce the delay between the pilot's commands and his surugi's responses, or eliminate it altogether if possible. Thought and action should be simultaneous. So, replace your wiring with, fucking... I know what they are. I don't use them at work. Fiber optic cables, there we go. Transmit your communication between each other at the speed of light. Instead of like on a fucking A-rank bus. If you know fucking about avionics, electronics, you'll know what I'm talking about. Perfect oneness is said to be impossible to attain, I know, however, that it is not. My enemy stands upon that mythical summit.
銀星号を成し得ているようだ。いかなる理由でか。
Yeah, because they're both a bunch of little fucking weirdos, that's why.
俺に比べれば、
They just
俺
vibe.
たちの即応性はあまりにも大きく劣る。だからいつも、気づいた瞬間には落とされている。この劣勢を挽回しない限り、幾度戦っても結果は変わるまい。
言われなくても、その問題なら前から検討してた。
Well, why don't we think together then?
制御系統の整備で改善が図れるはずなの。あと関節部の。
It's a bigger, foundational issue than that.
お前だけの努力で解決することではないだろう。
それは。
信仰一致は、してと剣の課題だ。両者の間合いがどうあるかという評価だ。遠ければ叶わず、近ければ叶う。
Yeah, get all dramatic. Two hearts beat as one kind of thing.
だから、お前が余計な自我を立てず、道具に徹すればよい。あとは俺が。
You're kind of missing the forest for the trees there, bud.
逆でしょ？
Yeah.
あなたが私の手足に徹すればいいのよ。
You were going good until that last part right there. This is how it's always been. And this is why we always lose. It cannot continue. Not if I intend to defeat Ginseigo and bring an end to her violence.
村正。
何度繰り返しても同じよ。この会話は。あなたが弾けないなら、私だって同
Oh,
じ。
we need synthesis, not one side winning out over the other. Meet in the middle.
ああ。だから、俺の方から折れることにする。
え？
頼む。
I lower my head to my surugi.
お前が銀星号との戦いを決して人任せにできないのは分かった。もう二度と道具になるとは言わん。村正。俺はお前の意志を認める。
Okay, that's a good first step.
ミド。
お前にも認めてほしいのだ。
There we go.
俺もこの戦いを人手に預けることはできん。光は俺が止めなくてはならない。頼む、村正。俺の意志を認めてくれ。それだけが望みだ。
That is all, but it is enough, surely. Enough to foster the change we need. I'm not asking to share our duty or our guilt or our duty. In fact, I'm proposing the opposite, to acknowledge that neither of us can bend. I will continue fighting for what I must, and bear the weight of that burden alone. Muramasa will do the same. Thus, we will each respect the other's will while maintaining the sanctity of our own. If only I had arrived at this conclusion sooner, instead of wasting so much time struggling to smother Muramasa's ego.
意味のないことよ。
ある。と思う。おそらくは必要なことなのだ。俺とお前が共に戦うために。
これまでだって一緒に戦ってきたでしょ？
Yes, you've been fighting together, but as like two individuals instead of like a cohesive unit.
いや。
Yeah.
単に並んで戦っていただけだ。これまでは俺はお前を認めていなかったし、お前とてそうだった。その問題をうやむやにしたまま。
Now, part of the problem
騙
is,
し騙し。
beside for the Ginseigo part, you've always been managed to eke out the win, even with, this problem in unity. So it's like, if it ain't broke, fucking don't fix it.
倒すべき敵が共通であったから。それでもどうにか武者の
Without
格
even,
好をついた。
really thinking hard about it.
しかし、
This could be so much better and efficient
銀
if
星
he
号に
just
勝つことは
worked
叶
together.
わずにいる。勝たねばならない。勝つためだ、村正。俺のことをどう思おうが構わん。あくまで手足と思いたいならそれでもいい。だが、その手足にも譲れぬ意志があると認めてくれ。頼む。
She meets my second entreaty with silence. though the tone of the silence seems vaguely uncertain. Is it too late? Am I a fool for thinking we can start anew? Regret for these 2 years wasted burns hot in my chest.
どうして急にそんなことを言うの？
Muramasa asks after several seconds.
知ったからだ。
え？
青江のしのぎは俺の昔を夢に見せたが、その夢にお前の過去も混ざっていた。すまないことをしたと思う。
Yeah, we were kind of forced to see it.
俺としても本意ではない。しかし、お前の戦う理由、譲れぬ理由が、それで分かった。お前たち村正一門が陽光などではなかったことも。
The law of balance. What I thought was a curse had, in fact, been born of a desire for peace. I still feel an upwelling of anger when I think how I was forced to kill my mother. But that is only my weak heart at work. It was my choice to wield Muramasa, my choice to speak the covenant despite having felt beforehand the doom contained within the surugi. I have only myself to blame. And then there is the philosophy that forms the foundation of Muramasa's law. The idea that ultimately, good and evil do not exist. I cannot bring myself to wholly agree. Something tells me that there are not, or must not, be that simple, that things are not. But I do understand it. The non-Bokucho War was an inescapable mire. In those darkest of times, such an absolute truth would indeed have seemed the only hope for peace. Now that I have experienced Muramasa's memories, I know the depth of emotion represented by the law of balance. And I also know the regret my Muramasa, the last Muramasa, feels for the tragedy it caused.
Muramasa, 俺がお前でも自分の手で決着をつけようと望んだだろう。そう思う。だから俺はお前の意志を認める。お前も認めてはくれないか。俺の。
ダメよ。
村正。
私の考えは変わらない。
考えを変えよとは言わぬ。
Yeah, we can do both simultaneously.
認めてほしいのだ。
認めない。
だが村正、俺たちは勝たねばなるまい。強くならねばなるまい。
ええ。信仰一致は私も必要だと思う。だからあなたは私の意志に従うべきよ。
Let the one just be me. You know, just take yourself out of the equation.
それはできん。
But, you know, it's like, oh, and in the end, you know, it's all both 1v1, you know. My one versus, you know, Insego and like Hikaru's one. It's like they're both ones, but it's like, yeah, but your one is only made out of one part, and their one is made out of two parts. So even if they look matched on the surface, they ain't. I can entrust my duty to another no more than Muramasa can hers. It's too heavy, too personal.
そう。でもね、あなたの希望なんて、
何？
これだけはしたくなかった。
What, you just gonna like mind jack us?
けれど、もう仕方ない。ミド、私はね。
Oh yeah, that's right. You can control
カカ
people.
様にも、ジジ様にもできないことができる。
Mm-hmm.
それは私が、二世村正を制するという特定目的のもとで誕生されたからこそ可能なこと。
You know, undiscriminate force fields. You can direct it to, you know, a singular individual.
己の視点に対しても、力を震える。
村正、お前は、まさか。
私の過去を見たなら知っているでしょ。
いや。
私にも、この技はあるの。人の心を犯すことは、私にだってできる。
Electromagnetic corruption disabled.
よせ！それは帝に禁じられたのだろうが。
Yeah, well, that old fuck's dead. I saw it with her own eyes. I just choked on my own spit. The use of synchronization was prohibited by imperial edict. To the people of medieval Yamato, the emperor was a living god. Its word was not only law, it was the law of heaven itself. Muramasa can't possibly violate it, can she? But contrary to my expectations, there is no hesitance audible in Muramasa's reply.
遠い昔のことよ。あの時代から色あせずに残っているのは私の鋼鉄と使命だけ。邪魔になったあなたの意志をつぶそう簡単なことなのよ。
You're so dumb. Everyone in your family's fucking dumb.
従いなさい。
Thoughts not my own take root in my soul. Are they coming from Muramasa? This is how mental corruption works? This is dire. There's no way to resist.
従いなさい。
The waves consume you from the inside out.
あなたの心はいらない。私には必要ない。だから。だから。
No, don't. I'm me. Minato Kageaki. Myself is still intact. But why? Should have had no choice but to submit.
どうして私は
村正。
もういい。あなたなんていらない。あなたがいなくたって。
Well, you know, seeing the inside of his soul, you know, get you a little shaky in the knees, couldn't really go through with it.
どこ行く？
どこでもいいでしょ。もうあなたとはこれきり。私は別の師弟を探す。
なんだと？
さようなら。
An instant later, my surugi is gone, vanished as though she was never there.
追わねば。
Whatever logic or prudence may dictate, now is the time to listen to my heart. I cannot let Muramasa leave like this. No matter what, I have to find her. Otherwise, I will surely regret it till the day I die. To give chase, I'm still locked in my cell, and it will take several hours to contact the commissioner and arrange for my release. Will I make it in time? I leap from tree to tree and rooftop to rooftop, knowing not where my flight will take me, knowing only that I must not stop, and knowing that I gotta clear my throat. The sun is still high above the horizon, and people are out on the streets. Thank you, Windows Update. I'll install you later. But yeah, people on the street. It is foolish to move about so overtly, but I cannot bring myself to care. Right now, I need desperately to shake this thing that threatens to tear me asunder. Effort is futile, of course, no matter how fast I run. The source lies within, not without.
認められるわけがない。
He asked me to respect his will, to recognize that he too has burdens to shoulder and duties to fulfill. That was all he wanted, and I rejected him utterly. He even offered to respect my will. That stubborn, mule-headed rock of a man was willing to change his mind. Even so, I could not allow it. When Aoi's shinogi showed him my past, at the same time, it showed me his, and so I know. Know that he was meant to never, words. I knew that he was meant to live his life in peace, to never know the horrors of battle. That promise, that right was denied him, stolen by me and my mother. If not for us, not for the line of Muramasa, he would still be living in that town with his family and friends. Only I had not been such a fool.
カカ様を 見捨てるべきだった。見捨てなくてはいけなかった。
Yeah. What can you do? You're an emotional woman. You know, these things are to be expected. I should never have begged the Emperor for mercy. I should have stood by and watched as she was melted down for scrap. It would have been humiliating, mortifying, the worst disgrace of which an Emishi could conceive. I would have regretted it the rest of my days. But I should have done it all the same. I should have hardened my heart, swallowed my pride, and cast her into the flames myself.
それができなかったばかりに。
Because I lacked the resolve, Ginseigo was born, and the nightmare of the non-Bokucho War has returned to consume this distant age. I could have stopped it, all this madness, all these deaths, all the fruit of one woman's weak heart. The blame, therefore, is mine to bear. This battle is mine to finish. How can I let that man, Kageaki, shoulder the burden of my mistakes? Named the demon armor Muramasa, whose foolishness unleashed a plague on the world. Why must he suffer so for my crimes?
認められるわけないじゃない。
Sparing my mother was not my only mistake. There's also the law of balance to answer for. Not for that curse. Whatever her intentions, a curse it was. Kageaki would have only half the number of lives weighing on his soul. I am different from the others in my line. I was forged to destroy Muramasa II, when and if again she threatened the world. The law of balance, though the centerpiece of grandfather's plan, was useless to me. So why did I inherit it? Because I had no choice. The law of balance is not an accessory. It is the principle that governed my entire creation, the foundation of my Shingane, the root of my power. To do away with it, I would have had to redesign the forging process entirely. It would have meant discarding all the knowledge of my forebears, starting over with only my skill to guide me. It was not an option. Even if I had accomplished the impossible, the result would not have been a Muramasa surugi. It would have been vulnerable to a mother's power, to her eggs. I could not have fulfilled my purpose. So I had no choice but to use the arts of my grandfather, and thereby inherit the doom of my line. No choice. However, even without those considerations, there was a part of me that wanted to bear the law. The law was the embodiment of my family's ideal, the answer that grandfather had been so desperate to find. I couldn't bear the thought that his blood and tears had been for nothing. The dream of a peaceful world, free of self-righteousness. Surely that was worth carrying into the future. How could I have been so irresponsible, so thoughtless? Yes, I ultimately had no choice in the matter. My feelings weren't relevant one way or the other. I remember the selfishness that was in my heart that day. Unforgivable. Each time Kageaki is forced to slay a friend or loved one, each time I hear his soul cry out in anguish, I curse myself for believing that something good could have come from this. That the law of balance could ever foster anything but pain.
だから、せめて。
The least I can do, then, is reject him. I can deny his will, deny that any of this was his doing. This is my battle. My decision birthed this tragedy. It is my responsibility to end it. The scent. Something nearby, in Seigo, or one of the infected, is emanating Muramasa II's power. The scent is thick, powerful, as if the target is deliberately calling attention to itself. There's no time to waste. Yeah, oh, he's not here. I ran out on myself. Who could have foreseen this? I turned back towards the jail, only to realize that there was nothing for me there. I could no longer fight at his side. Not only did I spurn his offer, I was unable to even make him my slave. I'll have to face this foe alone. No.
一人でいい。
Should have never involved another in my fight. Most Tsurugi need a pilot to function, but no matter. arts of Muramasa can overcome any disadvantage. I know they can. I'll prove it. Activating electromagnetic field. Compress. Purge. Compress. Form skeleton. Adjust. 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 Compress. Form nervous system. Adjust. Full purge. Reform nervous system. Adjust. 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 Form musculature. Adjust. Adjust. Verify. Adjust. Verify. Program ready.
私は一人で戦える。
Engage. Oh, look at the big old Buddha.
おお、早いな。呼び立てたようですまない影焼き。いや、事実呼んだのだが。
Yeah.
どうしたわけか、今日という日は起き抜けからお前の顔が見たくて、矢も盾もたまらなくなってしまってな。まったく、乙女心というのはままならぬ。お前も罪なやつ。しかし、こうして早速招きに応じてくれたのはありがたい。
Why you like this?
誰だ貴様。
あら、騙し通せなかった？
見くびるでない。外面に変わりがなかろうと、影焼きと他の誰かを取り違えるような俺か。
Yeah, you know, your stance, your presence, your smell.
音が違う。匂いが違う。
Yep.
なんとなく風情が違う。
Yeah, like I said, it's all just vibes, dude.
そして、へその下にグッとくるものがない。
Oh, hmm. Yeah, that's because Muramasa's a woman. And I guess you don't swing that way.
そやつはどこの馬の骨だ。どういう了見で影焼きを置いてきた。
答える義理はないと思うけれど。
まさか影焼きは風邪でもひいたのか。それで代理か。なら看病に行くぞ。
行くのか？いや待て、落ち着けミド。あれはどうも空のようだ。
Just a shell.
なんだあれは。中身はスカスカ
Yeah,
な
running on autopilot, you know.
装甲されたように見せかけているだけだな。さて、何のつもりやら。
伝言に来ただけなら雲のなりでよかろうしな。
Yeah, why'd you get my hopes up?
詮索は結構よ。
なら直に聞くが、お前は結局何しに来た。
戦うために決まっているでしょう。
影焼きは
He's unaware of the circumstances.
してなんていなくてもいい。私の力であなたを、カカ様を撃つ。
村正。
誠に遺憾だが、
Yeah.
あれはどうも本気らしい。何を？
Maybe a quick little thrashing will get her to change her view.
何ではないわ。呆れる他にどうしろという。そんなざまで俺の相手をするだと。
うぬぼれた言い草ね。
Well, yeah.
鏡を見て言うがいい。村正よ、お前の娘はとんだダ作だな。
Yeah, not a whole lot going on in the brains department.
返す言葉がないのは残念だ。
You know, all that nutrients went to her looks instead.
なんですって？
どうしてやろうか。
Though I suppose, that seems to just run in the family there.
若者の相手で御堂を煩わせとうはない。我に任せてもらえぬか？
許す。行け。
おう。甘く見て。それはこの母に言わせておけ。そんなごまかしで、い
Yeah,
かにせ
it's
ば
like,
あれらに勝てると思うのだ。やってみなければわからない。明々白々。その偽装がどれほど無様なものか、一目見れば伺い知れる。どうせ人型を取るなら、ここまでやらねば何の意味とてあるまいの。
yeah, what?
新規修練。
Oh, you can just do that?
肉体編成？そんな、どうやって？ そこから一歩進めればなせることなのだがな。
Oh, okay.
ここで砕いてやるのが情けというものか。
そんな芸、無意味よ。剣の戦力はこの形が最も高い。
I mean, she's like still a surugi, even though she's, transformed back into, having a meat body, if you can even call it that. If it's actually flesh and bone, or if it's just like, simulation. So, oh god, what's the word? It's like simulacrum, fucking simulacrum, whatever. Or if it's just, using gravity to bend the light around her to make it appear fucking like her old form. I don't know, man. Dude, I don't fucking know.
戦えば私が勝つ。
さて、
この
ハエでも追っているのか。
そこまかと。
まだ気づかぬか。ほとほと血巡りの悪い娘だ。あれが素早いのではない。なれがあまりに泥臭いだけだ。そんな動きではハエは愚か、牛も捕まえられん。
I like the smug look
怒
though.
らないで。まだよ。
さすがにそろそろ理解できような。己のそのギクシャクとした集体が
Yeah, she's a bit of an oaf.
どうして。
どうもこ
A
う
little
もない。
clumsy.
武者なりは確かに司教の姿。しかしそれもしてと共にあればの
So
こと
if you're
だ。
like untransformed right now from Hikaru, is she just like standing over there by herself?
中身のない
just a
鎧が
normal
何
human
だ
form?
という。張り子の虎に過ぎまいが。太刀の技もなく、熱量の供給もなく。
Yeah, but she can use electromagnetism to, conduct her armor and pull it and push it and, have it act like the strings on a puppet.
無駄に膨れた体を持て
So,
余すだけ。
without a source of power to
思い
fuel
は
that
鈍いわ。良いこ
electromagnetism,
と
how
な
far
し。
she's gonna get, I don't know.
そんな故郷年に比べればこの方がはるかに効率的。そういうことだ。この形なら新金の熱量だけで十分に戦える。
Oh, okay.
落ちよ。
Your like internal battery is enough. It's very efficient.
ダサく。
Yeah,
なれは音の名を恥ずかしめる気か。
that was kind of embarrassing.
そんなこと。
I suppose to like differentiate the two, I should call our Muramasa and her like Muramami or something. We'll do that.
私がダサくなら、カカ様は何なの。
何か不服があるのか、この母に。
A little.
春に決まってるでしょ。なんで、どうしてまた災いを振りまいているの。
それを我に聞いてどうする。剣はしてに従うもの。知りたくば上で退屈げにしている主に問うがいい。
そうじゃない。狂人の考えなんかどうでも
I
いい。
mean, she's kind of like the source of the issue here, so maybe you should.
その前の話よ。カカ様はどうしてあんな人間を主にしたの。知事様の失敗で学ばなかったの。私たち村正は武人の独善を戒めるための剣。けれどたった一つの間違いで災いの決心になりおせる。だからカカ様はもう誰とも決縁するべきじゃなかった。するにしてもよほど慎重に選ばなくちゃいけなかった。意志の弱い人が村正を帯びて武者になれば善悪相殺の掟に耐えられず狂うこともある。
But
それが分かってい
she
たん
is
だ
the
から
strongest willed.
なのにどうしてまたそん
She
な
just
人間を選んで
happens to be fucking crazy.
無ざと狂わせたの。500年前と同じように狂気を広めて殺戮を煽る羽目になっているのはなんでよ。
No, she was always insane.
そうか。
Yeah.
どうもいくつか 誤解があるようだな。
誤解？
まず我がしては狂っておらぬ。
I mean, she's pretty fucking bonkers.
いや
Yeah,
狂っているのやもしれぬが、
yeah.
いずれに
It's
せよ
not some like
あ
mental
の者はもと
corruption.
もとああだった。
She's just always been fucking wacko.
あれはあの者の人格を承知した上でしてと認め縁を結んだ。
But that's on you. You should have been responsible enough to be like, you cannot be trusted with this kind of fucking power.
どうして？
三世ナレは封印より放たれてからヤマトの歴史を学んだか？驚くべきこと、信じがたいことだが、あの100年と保たれなかったらしい。
戦国時代？
そう呼ばれているな。
Mm-hmm.
南北朝にも劣らぬ混沌の大乱世がほんの数十年を隔てて再び訪れたようだ。これをどう考える？
That fucking people are the problem and they, you know, gotta go?
足りなかった。足りなか
Yeah,
ったの
we
だ。
didn't go far enough.
あれほどの戦、あれほどの殺戮、あれほどの大地獄をもってしても、諸人に戦の醜さ、愚劣さ、その独善を知らしめるには全く足りなかったのだ。武とは常に善悪相殺、
Oh
戦に
yeah,
は
that's because
正
your
義な
methods
し。
fucking suck.
人々は飽きもせず、また独善の渦に浸りきり、戦い、殺し、南北朝の時代よりも長い時を無為の騒乱に費やしたのだ。
カカ様。
人の愚かさを甘く見ていた。あれら剣は魂を鋼鉄に打ち込める。故に不変の理念を持つが、
Uh-huh.
肉の脳髄は真理を刻んでも
But you know, it like heals, scars over, and then, you know, goes away and you just kind of forget about it.
だから
No, we're not doing the same
もう
thing
一度やるって
again.
言うの？
We're doing it even bigger and better.
そうだ。
本末転倒じゃないの？そんなこと知事様だって望まない。知事様はあくまで善悪相殺の戒めを人々に広めて争いを未然に収めようとしただけで。
ナレは考えが浅い。先ほど口にしたな。始祖の失敗がどうのと。オトは失敗など一つもしておらぬ。
何を？
オトは花から表と裏を考えていた。
Okay?
表、してが尋常な人物であり、善悪相殺の断りを返して世に広めるならばそれでよし。そして裏、してが戒律に縛られてなお見境なく
That
殺し
is
に殺しを重ねるなら、
also an acceptable
Sorry, Moyoshi.
outcome? Because it is innate character of man? Where are you going with this?
そのありさまを見た人々は武の罪悪をおのずと悟るであろうからだ。
Alright, be the example for others, you know, of what not to do.
音の資料の深さが分かったか？してがいかなる人物であろうと、あれら村正は世に戦と武の真相を告示する宿願を果たせるのよ。
でもそれでも銀星号はやりすぎでしょ？カカ様のしては強さにしても凶暴さにしても法外に過ぎる。
And so be it.
一向に構わぬ。人間とは
Yeah.
どしがたいもの。南北朝の災いからさえ何も学ばなんだ。一度絶滅に瀕するところまで行かねば大義を得られまい。
And yeah,
Yeah.
if they can't reach it themselves, then they don't deserve to exist.
絶滅してもよしとしよう。人が滅びれば争いもなくなる。音の望みが果たされるわ。
You're fucking dumb. You're so dumb. You're stupid.
とでも言いたいか。
狂ってるでしょ。
ナレが道理を分からぬだけだ。
I feel like I'm in the Metal Gear universe right now, and we're like fucking in the, like debates about the boss's will. It's just like none of you get it.
断りを知らず、世を知らず、人を知らず、己も知らず、してをよそへ置いて先走った挙句、かように這いつくばって泣き言をさえずるのみとはな。これが
Well, yeah,
三世村正。
you should have known that.
我が娘か。
That's exactly like your daughter.
カカ様。
たわけめ。我が腹が慣のような打作を生み落としたとあっては、音に顔向けできぬ。慣れごときは。
Look, I just think we should all go
いつぶさ
down
れ
to
て
like
仏像にでもなるがいい。
get some like group counseling. You know, like instead of like a double date, it's like double group therapy. You know, get some mother-daughter counseling, and we can get some like brother-sister counseling. Cause this ain't going so well.
カカ様。
立ったか。まあ、立たねばなるまいな。
Yeah, you're still a fucking empty
こ
tin
れを言わ
can.
れて相手を捨ておくようでは、剣の一文が守れん。自らくず鉄と認めるに等しい。されど、口惜しきかな。なれは、くず鉄だ。
Hey man, you know, one man's junk is another treasure and everything.
次期隕石を利する抜刀術。ナレの捨てが完成させた指令だな。できるつもりでいるのか？
Yeah, do you have the technique to do it?
切る。
参れ。
Alright, you don't sound very in control of yourself right now. You're gonna rip your own fucking arm off. Did you not even get in range? Did you just whiff?
知恵なき者は白日のもと闇を歩く。ナレのことだ。熱量が尽き果て、再生も効くまい。
Mm-hmm.
身に過ぎた技を使うからだ。才なく真なく当人をもてあそんだ愚物。相応の惨めさで果てるがいい。最後の情けだ。引導はこの母が渡してくれる。行けい。
待って、村正。
ミド、止めてくれるな。
Yeah, but
身
we
内
kind
の
of like
恥は過ぎたい。
need her to be with Kageaki for him to come to me.
うん、その気持ちはわかるが、仕方あるまい。
Or do we have another?
座興はここまでと、あちらが。
待ち人か。
Yeah.
折よく。知恵なきこやつにも、幾ばくかの
You
天
know, the
運はあっ
gods
た
have
と
deigned
見
to
る。
give her a good partner. I'm sure running around in a prisoner's uniform not going to cause any issues in town, you know.
影明。
End up with some calls to the station.
怒る。
Like, hey, you seem to be doing well.
どうするのだ、ミド。
今日はもうよい。顔を見たら気が済んだ。
You just wanted to hang out for a little? Okay.
影明も剣がそのざまでは遊べまいしな。
There'd be no meaning in, you know, duking it out.
承知。
Alright, bye.
影明、お前に伝えておくぞ。俺は八幡宮へ行く。少し面白い趣向を考えついてな。
Okay.
我が父に我が波動を捧げる。そのためにふさわしい時と場を選んだ。
父に。
近いうちだ。
Alright,
待っている
bye.
がいい。
So, were you the one that ended up killing the Shogun? I guess that makes sense. With Kinsego's departure, I turned my attention to the ground before me. My surugi is lying there, as still as a corpse. The severity of her damage is obvious at a glance. Her armor is warped and mangled, its crimson hue calling to mind-flayed skin.
村正
来ないで。
Yeah, kind of embarrassing, huh? Just kind of want to wallow in self-pity on the ground for a little bit.
帰って。お願いだから。
お前を置いてか。
そうよ。
ダメだ。
もう私はあなたの剣じゃない。
俺にはお前がいる。
カカ様を止めたいなら。
I mean, that's gonna be kind of difficult.
他の。
お前でなくては勝てない。
Like, we can't just run down to the pawn shop
なんでよ。
and get a second-hand one.
精神干渉の波に侵されないから。
Because you're my partner. My nakama.
そんなの関係ない。他の剣の方がマシよ。
No, no. You gave it a good try. You know, you showed spirit.
今のこの姿を見ればわかるでしょ。力は足りない。
Everyone's weak alone, Muramasa, but together. If we work together, that's where the strength is.
正しい判断もできない。のぼせた頭で勝てるはずない相手に挑んで。
We can talk to a priest here at the shrine and see if we can get like a dolly or something to put you on a wheelbarrow and just, you know, bring it back. You don't even gotta walk.
その上、善悪創殺なんて余計な呪いのおまけつき。いらないでしょ。
村正。
別の剣を探して私のことも放っておいて。
The battered
ここに
plates
捨
of...
てていってくれれば
Oh, you weren't done.
勝手に
That was a long pause on your end. That's not my fault. The battered plates of her armor begin to quiver, producing a high-pitched sound like the chirping of a cricket. Is she crying?
別の剣。
The thought has crossed my mind more than once, I admit, though I've always rejected it outright. Any other surugi would be vulnerable to Ginsego's power. So I told myself that it was necessary for my mission, that the curse was just one more burden to bear. I've used Muramasa because I had no choice. Because I had no choice. And not because I chose her. But it's different now.
知って。
But I want to do it with you. Muramasa. More human than Surugi, she is willful, at times rebellious, and prone to outbursts of emotion. She even attempted to use her power against me, her master. And then there is the law of balance. She renders every battle, every victory, hollow and meaningless. Such as the Surugi, whom I have spent these past 2 years.
お前でなくてはダメだ。
なんでよ。
お前と出会ってから幾度もの戦いを経た。お前が助けてくれたから卵の孵化も阻止してこられた。今更だがそれを認める。
私がしたこと助けだけじゃない。
Yeah, you know, you've kind of made our lives a living hell too, but hey, you know,
忘れてはいないでしょう。
that's just what being in a relationship is. Hey.
私はあなたに罪もない人を殺させてきた。最初はあなたの母親。
あ
何人も殺させた。もう嫌でしょ。耐えられないでしょ。
Yeah, and we will by, you know, working together to
私
beat
を捨てれば
Ginseego.
いいのよ。私がいなければそんなことしなくて済むんだから。金星号に
Again,
勝てる
that's the
剣なら
thing. There's like no other one that
き
can.
っとどこかにある。あなたはそれを探せばいいの。
そんなものはない。仮にあったとして
Like, I mean, maybe we go over to like England and fucking search around and we find like a fucking Excalibur or something, you know, to be our Surugi.
俺が望むのはお前だ、村正。
どうして。
善悪創殺か。お前と共にある限り俺はこれからも敵を一人倒す都度に味方も一人切ることになるだろう。
そうよ。
死すべからざる誰かを殺す。
そうよ。
だがな、それなら俺の敵となった人
Hell
間
yeah,
は
fuck them. They deserve to die.
俺は母を殺した。新田夕日を殺した。恵美氏の姉妹、フキと船を殺した。いずれも許されない罪だ。しかし、鈴川両部を殺したことは、
Yeah, should you've
長
just,
坂右京を殺したことは、
left them be?
風魔小太郎を殺したことは、
Continue their evil?
王子卓を殺した
So
こと
I
は、
suppose, really,
ジョージ・ガーゲットを殺したことは、
I mean, that old Kotaro guy, you know, he didn't really do anything wrong. Like, sure, he was kind of a shithead, but I don't think he was evil. He just kind of wanted his, like, fucking family's fucking suit of armor back.
それは許されることなのか。
Oh, yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
許されない。
They were.
彼らは俺からすれば悪人だった。しかし、彼らにも彼らなりの善があった。
Uh-huh.
善悪相殺。なるほど。人を殺すということは、善と悪をもろともに
Yeah,
立
yeah,
つと
we
いう
know.
こと
Everyone is the hero of their own story.
ようやく理解できた。
We'll do this song and dance at the end of time. Sometimes you just gotta kill a motherfucker.
村正、お前は正しい。
It'd be real nice if you didn't have to. Because everyone, you know, was able to hold hands and sing Kumbaya.
殺人はなべて悪鬼の所業。例外
But
な
until
ど
that perfect, you know, world is
あらゆる
reached,
殺人に正義はない。
you know, gotta throw some hands sometimes.
戦いに正義はない。
ミド。
村正、お前がそれを教えてくれた。お前ではなく、他の剣と血縁してこの2年を戦っていた。世の人々
Yeah, you know, he
を
would've
救う
gone
た
down
めに
the
悪と
Masamune
戦いこれを
route.
打つ。正義の武者だとな。そうして銀星号を倒した暁には、六波郎も打倒しようなどと考えていたか。
And then, you know, plunge the country into civil war and just make everyone's lives worse.
想像するだにおぞけの走る話だ。独善の化粧でしかない正義によ
Ooh, yeah, you'd have to be
騒乱を引き起こすな
a
ど。
real fucking asshole to do that, huh? You hearing this, Ichijo? Man, that's crazy.
俺に正義はない。その真実を決して忘れたくない。だからお前が必要だ。お前を捨てて別の剣を取れば。善人は殺さず、悪人は殺すという独善の道を、世には死んで良い人間と死んではならない人間とがいて、自分にはその区別をする権利があるのだと認めることになる。俺は高顔無知な英雄になどなりたくはない。世間の人々がそんな俺を見て、正義の戦いがあると信じ、後に
Just end
続
up
こ
with
う
like
とする。
roving bands of vigilantes.
だ、それこそ災いというものだ。
ミド。
俺はお前を選ぶ。善悪相殺の戒律を選ぶ。お前も。俺を選んでは
Yeah, you know,
くれな
now
いか
that you've, you know, gone out, got your fucking ass kicked, have you calmed down from your temper tantrum?
本当に。
俺には、お前でなくてはならないのだ。
ミド。カカ様を生かしたのは。
Yeah, and we're gonna work together to rectify that.
自分一人で戦わなくてはならない。俺にもそっくり同じ思いがあった。いや、今でもある。認めよう。村正。
Yeah,
俺もお前
by
も一
yourselves,
人
you
で
both
は弱
kind
い
of。suck.
互いが必要だ。
Like, I mean, maybe, you know,
What?
Kageaki, you'd be able to do something
二
if
人
you
で
ever
一気と
fucking
ならねば
put bullets in that gun you're always
Tatakainai
toting around.
一緒に戦ってくれ。
You know, just sneak up and shoot someone in the back of the head and you don't even gotta suit up in your surugi.
ミド。
I raise my right hand to my mouth and bite deep into the flesh of my thumb. Then present the bleeding finger to Muramasa. Yo, that like fucking hurts a lot. Couldn't you have like just pricked it with a needle? This is the warrior's most precious finger. without which he cannot wield his sword. The second most important one is the pinky. It's actually like super important for, you know, maintaining a good grip and when you're fucking holding on to something. Slowly, timidly, Muramasa lifts a leg in answer. It touches my finger. My blood stains the surface of her armor. A sharp sound echoes in the space between us, clear and high like a crystal bell. This is a ritual ancient and hallowed, and the simplest, purest form of joining. Thus the bond is forged, and Muramasa and I become a Musha at last.
いたぞ
Woo! We getting, you know, second opening, OP2? You know, we started the story at last for real this time. But yeah, like on your hand, the most useless finger is actually your index finger. It's kind of shitty. Like, when you're like holding something, like if you ever try to like lift up a bucket, really most of the weight goes to like your middle and ring finger. Your index finger's garbage. You can lose it, and the middle finger just compensates for it for like everything you do. Hey, Chachimaru, we're doing your little side route here. Your branch end of the Conqueror route first. What that entails? Dude, I don't fucking know. And now we're gonna beat Ginseigo for real. After we, you know, get scolded back at jail for essentially breaking out and causing an incident. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, I know it's a bit of a short episode this time, but I kind of want to, you know, get this up as soon as possible. And the longer I drag this out, the, you know, later in the day it will go up. So it's a bit of a catch-22, you know. Sure, I would love to record 3-hour episodes and upload them in those chunks, but you know that's a little rough on me for one, and two, it's just so convenient that they do these chapter breaks like every hour and a half or so. You know, really good pacing for me. Because one, like really, who's got the time to sit down and watch a 3-hour fucking video? Like, let's be honest, like 100, just between you and me, in one sitting, are you just going to sit down at your computer and watch 3 hours straight of some fucking asshole mispronouncing, reading words wrong, just going off on tangents, you know, can't keep up the cadence of a sentence, always cutting off, you know, the speaker in the game, you know, their lines, moving on to the next text by accident, like choking and coughing into the microphone, you know, just being an absolute jackass? Or are you gonna like break that up into like a couple sessions? You know, let's be real. But you know, an hour and a half, no, that's doable. You can do that. I do it all the time. But that's because I'm an insane person and I watch those like 11-hour fucking, you know, video essays people do because I'm white. You know the meme of like the two Native American like trackers in the woods, and then it's like, white man's been here, and it's like, how can you tell? It's like fucking multiple hour-long video essays. It's exactly that, you know, fucking absolutely 100%. They got me dead to rights on that. But I gotta process this, I gotta upload it, and then, you know, I probably won't record another episode tonight. I could, you know, if I was being real productive, you know, I could record like 2 episodes a day. But then that's like a lot of work to do. Like, is it really a lot of work to do these? No. But is it a big time commitment? Like, kind of. Like, I know it's only like, takes me like, if I record like an hour and a half episode, it takes me like a minute to process it or like do the editing in Premiere. And then because I just updated my graphics card, which, you know, video editing software uses your GPU to process videos, it takes like 5 minutes to export like an hour and a half video. And then all I got to do is go boop, 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 click like 3 buttons in YouTube and get it uploaded. It's literally that easy. But if I do it too much, like just dedicate all my free time to it, then it becomes a second job. And, you know, instead of being a product of passion that I do for you and me, or, well, mainly for me, I like doing these. But if it ever becomes like, you know, I'm no longer doing it for me, then, you know, it's a second job that would suck. And I don't want it to suck. So I gotta pace myself. But fortunately for you guys, I have a 4-day weekend this week, which means I'll be able to record every single day unless I get horribly ill for some reason, or I get called into work on my weekend. It's not unheard of for that to happen, especially with, you know, current world events going on. Sometimes they need some extra hands on deck, so to say. And I am I don't mean to brag here, but I'm considered a highly competent and valued member of my team. So, just saying, you know, they're looking to call someone. You know, I'm right at the top of that list. But yeah, yeah, I don't see that happening though. So, I've been rambling on and kind of just wasting time now. So I'm gonna go. What am I gonna do? Maybe I'll go do my dailies in FF14. You know, gotta get work doing my Beast Tribe quests. Man, that's a fucking slog because you can only do 12 a day, and I'm doing like 4 separate ones at once. And you know, depending on your rank with the tribe, you can only do like 3 quests a day. So it's like to get all the fucking reputation requirements, it's like 2 months straight of work. It's just to buy a shitty mount for like 200,000 gil. That's it. That's the only real reason to do it. But I'll do it anyway because I'm an insane person. So, yeah, I forgot I've already did my outro, but I'll do it again. Once again, like, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and notification bell so you guys next time for the next episode of Full Metal Daemon Muramasa. Catch you guys there. Later.